Your Facebook ad account isn't stalling because you're creative. It's not your offer either. It's stalling because it's one of the things that almost nobody talks about, the entire structure underneath it. So today, I'm rebuilding an entire ad account from a completely blank slate, the exact same structure that I run for my clients in 2026. And stick to the end because I'm going to hand you the one-page version of this whole build for free so you can copy it on your own in your own account tonight. So this is in theory. This is the exact same skeleton that I'm using running at a 6.9x return at 8 grand a month, a 9.5x return at 27 grand a month, in one account pushing $1.8 million to $2.9 million in a single 30-day window. Now, real quick, if we haven't met yet, my name's David Paratino. I've been in the e-commerce game for 8 years. I bootstrapped my own brand to 7 figures, and I've worked with some of the biggest names in e-commerce. I've spent over $100 million on meta ads, and I've made all the mistakes in the world so that you don't have to. And I make videos like this so that you can stay up to date with the latest trends and never miss out on any of the changes on the platform. So subscribe if you find videos like this valuable so that you never miss out on the latest and greatest trends on Meta. So let's dive into it. The reason why accounts stall, and here's the thing that nobody wants to hear. Right when it should be scaling, it's almost never the creative and the offer. It's the plumbing underneath both. The best water in the world does not matter if the pipes are a mess. It never reaches the tap. Most ad accounts that I audit have prospecting and retention fighting over the same audiences, budgets colliding, no naming convention, no proper tracking, no proper exclusions. So the owner literally can never tell what's working. So you need to fix the structure first, and then the same exact ads, the same exact offer can have the potential to start to scale. So let me show you the build. Every account that I build, I have 4 campaigns, and only 2 of them are mandatory, right? The core 2 are prospecting and retention. Then you have an optional testing campaign and an optional scaling campaign. That's the whole skeleton for 85% of the brands that I work with. Again, every brand's different, so you have to tailor your strategy to your unique brand and your offer. But at a high level, brands that I've been working with for years, this is the skeleton that we have in place. So let's fit it. First, group your ad sets into packs. So inside your prospecting campaign, you want to run one campaign budget, a CBO, and you bundle your ad sets into what I call packs. And these are grouped by avatar and concept. So instead of 40 tiny ad sets all starving each other, you have 3 packs, right? You have value seekers, problem aware buyers, social proof buyers, right? Each one has unique concepts and angles that do the targeting now inside of your pack. And so you have one shared budget, and Meta pushes spend your money towards whichever audience or pack is converting. Number 2, you want to name everything and you want to split the lanes, right? So a proper naming convention is critical. And especially now with Meta and the MCP, right? You want to follow the exact same naming convention across all your ads, all your campaigns, all your ad sets. I do the same ad convention, ad naming convention across all my clients. So I know exactly what I'm working for, especially when I mix in automations to help with reporting, etc. You want to have the right swim lanes, right? You want to make sure your prospecting lane excludes every warm audience. It only talks to cold. You want to make sure your retention lane is the opposite. It only serves to warm audience, people who have heard of your brand, right? And you have separate creative. You speak to these people differently at different stages in their buying journey, right? And when these 2 stop overlapping, your cost per acquisition tends to drop without you even changing a single piece of creative or offer. So the 20% to 7-day testing rule. I like to never spend more than 20% of my budget on testing. In each test, I like to let run 7 days, which is the minimum required to get out of the learning phase, right? Meta's attribution window is 7 days, right? So if you spend $1 today, you won't see the full impact of that dollar for at least 7 days. A lot of businesses that have repeat revenue or recurring revenue models, whether it's a service-based business or skincare, supplement, you name it, right? It gets a little trickier because you want to look at 90-day LTV to CAC. You want to look at a longer time frame. But for the purpose of this, at a high level, I like to let each test run 7 days at least, right? And you should have enough data if you have the right testing strategy and the right skill set after 7 days to make a decision on if the ad is working or not and what iterations you need to make and changes you need to make based on the data, right? So it's not a guessing game. You have to use your facts and the data that you've generated, right? Now, for those of you that are running creative tests, I'd actually like you to leave a comment. Let me know how many days you're currently leaving it running before killing an ad or keeping it, right? I'll read every one, and I'm curious to see how disciplined you guys are and what your current testing structure is. So now we're talking about broad targeting. We've been in the broad targeting era on Meta, right? And ever since Meta's new update, the Andromeda, we all know that creative is your targeting. And so concept and creative are now the targeting. And what you give Meta, your ad, your copy, your headline, your lander, that essentially gives Meta your avatar, your concept, and it decides who the best people are to show your ad to, right? So a good ad does 4 things. 1, it stops the scroll, especially in the first 3 seconds. This is for video, right? But even statics, you want to stop the scroll. You want to get a good click rate. Number 2, you want to name the problem, right? So the right person needs to see this ad come across their feed and say, I know exactly that problem. Number 3, you want to show proof, right? A demo, UGC, some sort of result or social proof helps kind of preface the click and, preconditions them that other people are getting results from this product or service, right? And number 4, you want to ask for the click, right? You need to have a clear CTA in your ad at the end of the ad saying, click here to learn more or whatever. Click here to buy now, right? Now, I will say that the best brands in the space have somebody who's an expert. And I myself am taking on a handful of clients for the upcoming quarter. Right now, at this moment, as of July 27th, I have 2 spots open. So if you'd like all this done for you, send me a DM on X or LinkedIn. Be happy to jump on a call and see if it would be a good fit to work together. Okay, back to the build. The winner flywheel is how you keep getting ads that perform, right? Instead of getting lucky or panicking, right? It's a loop that constantly provides feedback and you continue to get better and better and better, right? So step number 1 is to analyze. And we always analyze in 7 or 14-day windows, right? We want to have a big enough window. We want to find the fastest horse. We want to find the best performing placements, the best performing age, gender, right? Day of week. We want to double down on that, right? Instead of just cutting audiences. And then we want to feed the pipeline, right? That winning ad, that angle, that concept, that avatar becomes your next concept to test broad, right? You do that over and over and over, and that's how winners compound. So the part that this part's for when you're actually scaling, right? Past 6 figures and up. I have some accounts that I started at $25 a day that are over 6 figures a month, and it all started from the right structure, right? And so when you get to this point, you really need proper bidding controls. And there's certain times of year where your ads do better and certain times where they do worse, right? So that's where cost caps, bid caps, and target ROAS goals finally make sense for your business. And so I'm going to go through these real quick, just at a high level. Cost cap holds your target cost per result while you crank volume. That's usually the first lever that I use. Bid cap sets a hard ceiling, so it'll never get a customer for over a certain CAC, right? Tends to underspend. Meta also has a ROAS goal, which tells Meta the return that you need. So if you're under 100 grand in ad spend, look, you really don't need any of these at the moment. As long as you're scaling with strategic scaling and you have the right system in place and you're making sure that you're profitable or you have a plan to be profitable with that ad spend, then you don't need to worry about this. But as you get more advanced, these are some controls that you can put on the account. So last thing, there is no structure, there is no strategy that AI can replace yet, right? You still need to be in the loop as a human. And, people, you always see posts about AI replacing marketers, AI replacing brands, single person brands, right? That is certainly not the case, right? You need to still have human judgment. You need to use AI and use tools to assist you in your ad account, in your strategy, in your marketing, right? But you need to still use your own judgment and read the data at the end of the day. So Protect your winners and remember that beats breakdown. A segment can win on a spreadsheet and can still be totally wrong for your customer, right? So the structure gets you 90% there. The last 10% is still you. So here's the whole build. Structure beats creative and offer at the start, the 2 core plus the 2 optional campaigns, pack-based CPOs, naming conventions and swim lanes, the 27 testing rule, concept as targeting, the winner flywheel, and bidding tools are all what you need to scale. And so like I promised, the 1-page version that I mentioned at the beginning of the building, if you would like that, comment the word structure and I will send you my account build checklist. So if you guys found this valuable, subscribe, hit the like button, and make sure that you never miss out on the changes that Meta provides to its platform. It's very important if you're spending money on Meta to stay up to date with these changes. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video.